Earl Thomas of the Seattle Seahawks here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Earl?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing fine. How is your leg? Let's start off with that first, Earl.
Oh, it's good, man. It's getting better by the day. I just got it propped up in my office. So there's nothing really I can really do on it. Just kind of let it heal. Got a cast on it.
And then when you got hurt, I think you scared everybody, Earl. When you tweeted out that you were thinking about retirement. Are you still thinking about that right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying, just waking up in the mornings without the pressure. Peace is starting to return to me, bro, and I think that's my ultimate goal in life. I just want to have peace. But I can say when I went back to the VNEC the other day, my competitive juices came right back. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of caught in between right now.
So it wasn't just a first blush moment where you were thinking about it and it's kind of subsided. You are still thinking that maybe you kind of like not having the pressure of playing National Football League football. Of course, emotions were taking over me, but I was still thinking like clearly in my eyes. And like I said, I still kind of feel the same way. But like it's a lot of pressure when you play in this game, and I play at a high level. And my teammates expect me to do what I do. It's all about recommitting myself, and I don't know. I never want to step on the football field, half-heartedly. When I go out there, I want to be out there, with my balls hanging. I mean, I don't want to say my balls hanging, but yes.
No fear. Mm-hmm. That's a better way to say it. Mm-hmm. But if I have any doubts, I don't want to play the game.
Earl Thomas joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. I guess it's kind of surprising to hear that, Earl, because of how young you are and how effortless it does look when you're out there. It does look like it comes to you so naturally. And I think what you're showing is how much of a commitment it takes just in terms of mentally, your diet, just your way of living to just have a certain level and play at a certain level in the National Football League, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everything in my life is really affected by the game. Even with my time with my daughter, my wife, my mom, everybody. And then when you take it to the football things, the way you eat, the way you got to take care of your body, the constant training. It's hard for you to be well-rounded when you just always, thinking about football. And I definitely want to be better as a man, not just football player. So I started thinking about things like that, and it has me thinking.
How old is your daughter?
She's 4.
Yeah, I've been noticing on your Twitter account you've been a lot more active since you've been inactive on the football field. You took her to the Nutcracker. I saw that tweet where you just took her to a holiday show. Seeing that?
Yeah, we've been having a blast, man. I'm starting to really get to know her more and more. She's loving me. Her and her mama. They always pounding on me. So it's just been, like I said, peaceful. That's the best thing I can describe it.
But I also noticed I've also noticed you are watching the games, though. I mean, you predicted a final score of 10-3 for your Seahawks over the Rams. You got it half right. Literally, that was the halftime score. I even noticed that during the game. I mentioned gave you a shout out on NBC, and so while you're watching the games, do you feel the juices flowing when you're watching an actual football game, Earl?
I definitely do. Just seeing us in those lime green jerseys,
yes.
that was very, very. And then you can hear the music in the background. So, and I was just saying to myself, I wish I was out there with them. When you play in the Century Link, especially, man, the energy is flowing. The crowd's behind you. And, just from me watching it on TV, I can feel it. I can feel it through the TV screen.
And in terms of juices flowing, I'd love to get your thoughts on your teammate Richard Sherman. Took it upon himself to let the staff know, Darrell Bevel and your coach Pete Carroll know that he didn't like running the ball didn't like throwing the ball from the 1 yard line in that game. What do you think was going on with Richard at that moment, Earl?
I think he was seeing red, and I think he was seeing flashbacks from the Super Bowl. That's the best way I can explain that. And Richard is he's very passionate about the game. Sometimes you just get too caught up into it.
And so how often do you and your teammates think about that Super Bowl loss? Is it top of mind even in a game like week 15 on Thursday Night Football? Obviously.
No, it's not at the top of your mind, but you know, it's like, I guess you can kind of, like, if somebody reminds you of something, then it pops back up.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're at the one, you know, I guess that's probably what, you know, triggered his mind to going crazy like that.
And how is it in a locker room? Can you explain it for some who might see what's going on with the Broncos, where offense and defense barks at each other? You guys obviously seem a tighter knit group than that, and Pete Carroll has his finger directly on the pulse. But what does happen in a locker room between two sides of the football sometimes, Earl?
Yeah, you just have to be very, very careful. You know, you don't want any division, and sometimes, you know, when one side is doing better than the other side, than the other side, it can kind of cause that division. But I feel like if you know yourself as a team, both offense and defensively, you don't have that problem.
Who's the guy in your locker room who speaks up on to try and bring everyone together? Who's that voice that's listened to once the coaching staff leaves the room?
And we have all type of voices, man. It's not just one person. I think we just have a good locker room in general, and a lot of vets that's been around. You know, you got Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. You know, we have a lot of guys that are, even Russell Wilson. You know, we have a lot of guys that have stepped up and said in their own way.
Earl Thomas, Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks safety, who's out for the season with a broken leg, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, that sounds so depressing.
I know, Earl. But, hey, you're hanging with your daughter, and it seems like you're having a blast doing that. Did you see Zeke jump into the Salvation Army kettle the other night?
I'm actually a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I keep up with the Cowboys every time they play when I can.
Well, unless there's an NFC Championship game that comes down the pike between two top seeds, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. We don't mind going to Jerry World and doing what we have to do.
I'm sure. But when you saw Zeke jump into the Salvation Army kettle and the fact that he didn't get fined, I'm seeing today Odell Beckham and Le'Veon Bell both say that they would have been fined had they been the ones to hop in the kettle. Did you get fined for hugging the ref earlier this year, Earl?
Yeah, man, you messy, man. I got fined for hugging the ref. You're right.
You did get fined for that, because I know you got flagged for it, but you got fined for it.
No, I got flagged for it. I didn't get fined.
Okay, so you did not get fined. I got it.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so what do you think of these celebration rules that the NFL has in place?
You know, I think when you play in college, you know, we can be, you know, we shouldn't be able to celebrate, but I think the good thing about making it to the NFL is you should be able to express yourself, man. That's the top of the top. But unfortunately, a lot of times we get penalized for it.
But when it comes down to it, do you feel that it's the rules are arbitrary in a way, that some guys get hit as other guys don't get hit because of a reputation?
Yeah, I mean, the reputation speaks for itself. You know, some guys, you know, they just, you know, if you think about T.O., you know, T.O. was, he with the cheerleaders and he doing all type of gimmicks. So a lot of times they cause it on themselves. I'm kind of old school in a lot of ways anyway.
And what'd you think of the Tom Herman hiring, there in Texas? What'd you think about the change of the guard there at the coaching staff, Earl?
I mean, I just want to win. I just want us to get back to our winning ways. It's crazy that we haven't been able to do that with all the talent that we have in Texas. So I really don't care who we bring in, as long as we win. I just need production.
Well, why do you think it's gotten so tough to win there all of a sudden?
I'm not sure. When you're not in it, you know, and you're not around it,
sure.
You're not able to see what's going on, you really don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it sounds like, is your daughter in the background right there?
Yeah, she's coloring.
What's her name?
Callie Rose.
Oh, man. Enjoy it, Earl. Just soak it in because, look, here's the scoop. I've met you a few times. I really love your game. I really think you got a great head on your shoulders. And personally, as a football fan, I'd love to see you back out there because you are so good at what you do, and it's inspiring to just watch just you and the rest of your teammates go out there and buzz around. But if this makes you happy and you eventually do decide to hang out with your daughter and do what you want to do and you want to be part of the paparazzi, you give me a call too, okay?
No doubt. Thank you, man.
You got it, Earl. Go back to your kid. Appreciate it. You got it. It's Earl Thomas taking time out of his daddy-daughter time.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.